Hi friends! Welcome to episode 50 of Last Stitch Effort. My name is Pacasha and this is my little place where I talk about using up my yarn stash. Primarily by knitting. Maybe I'll crochet someday, but for now I just knit a lot. And I also spin, which kind of adds to my stash, but that's okay. Anyway, why am I trying to knit down my stash? Because I have a lot. I don't really need to buy anything else. And I find it really interesting when people share, especially like scrappy projects that use up things differently than like normal. Does that make sense? I don't know. So I'm hoping that occasionally I'll have something like that that might inspire you or might even inspire myself. So I don't know. Having this podcast helps me. Trust me. Anyway. My stash now is at 55,487 grams. So that's where we're at. I would love to say that that's smaller from when we started this little journey, but it's not. It's not at all. Ugh. Stashing down. I'm not good at it, but I'm stashing down. Okay, so right now I'm not wearing any knitwear. I've got some socks on, but you don't want to see those, so let's just move straight on to FOs. And I forgot my sock blocker. Maybe I'll go grab it. Should I go grab it? Yeah, I'll go grab it. It's moments like these that I wish that I knew how to edit stuff. Okay, my first FO is a pair of socks. This yarn is by Nomadic yarns, and it was a little gobstopper, self-striping gobstopper, and I believe the color was Sirius, as in Sirius black. And Ashley no longer dyes Harry Potter colorways, and I no longer buy Harry Potter colorways, but I have it in my stash, so I'm going to use it. So this is a pair of socks for my daughter, and they were supposed to match, but then I realized that I knit the first sock a little too short, so I went back and pulled it out and then just reattached the yarn as it was instead of trying to match up, because I don't really like to waste yarn either, and it doesn't matter because it's just right there. So I'll hold those up close. So it's like navy and purple and black and gray. And I used, I think, 51 grams for this, so I will make a pair for myself with contrasting something or other, probably even just a cuff. And that should be enough for another pair. So that is the first FO. Size 0 needles. I always use 0 needles, 2mm for my socks. And this is just a vanilla pattern. It's, I think it was I know it was 60 stitches, 2x2 cuff, just a regular like slip stitch heel flap, and then I decrease along the bottom of the foot instead of along this part of the gusset. And Mina Phillips wedge toe. Speaking of Mina Phillip, my next FO is a pair of Union Station socks. Mina Phillip is the knitting expat, and she's busy with her family now, but once upon a time she used to design a lot. She still does, I think, some work, but she has some really amazing sock collections, and they're very like simple, but I want to say they're simple, and they are, but I don't want to devalue the actual value of buying those patterns, because you get like a collection, and they're all like super easy, memorizable, but because she offers you so many, it's not just like one pattern, it's like, yeah, anyway, it's worth every penny, and she has some nice techniques, and they're very well constructed patterns. So this is the Union Station pattern, and I just did this along the top, the stitch pattern is what I mean. And then I left the feet just straight stockinette. Now, typically she just puts it along the front all the way down and leaves the bottom and the back unpatterned, but that's not what I did. So this is Nekonorb yarn, who is no longer dying, and this is her Druid from her Dungeons and Dragons club, and this was the mini that came with it. And this is, if you have watched before, which maybe you have, this is the second pair of socks I've gotten with this yarn, and I have a little bit left still, so I can usually get 2 good sized pairs of socks out of a ball or 100 grams. Anyway, that's that. So 2 more socks done, I think. Oh, and these are for a friend. Yeah, these will go to a very dear friend who, like, I love Jane Goodall so much. #1 role model. And these are going to a friend who loves her just as much as I do. So it's really good timing that I finished these. Anyway, love her. I love her. And I love my friend. So just a weird coincidence that, yeah. Okay, so I have another finished object. Because I've been gone for a month, you would expect a lot, right? I finished my, oh, I'm so excited, my Nightshift by Andrea Mowry. It is absolutely huge and heavy. It is, I think it ended up being like 600 grams. I've got my notebook right here. I could look it up, but yeah, there are mistakes, and I changed yarns just whenever I wanted to or ran out, and I used up a lot. I did spin specifically for this, however, I did not use all of those yarns, and I did pull in another braid. For the most part, all of this is either, no, it is not for the most part, it is 100% all Hello Yarn Fibre Club braids, or Southern Cross Fibre, who is no longer dying. So yeah, it's awesome. And once again, perfect timing for fall, because look at this massive thing. Oh, it's great. It's way too hot for this nonsense right now. I mean, it's a little cool out there, but my hormones don't recognize that. All right, so let's do some whips. Pardon me. The first thing I'm going to show you, I haven't gone for a month, so I have quite a bit. It's not done, but there's really not much left to do. Let me turn it back the right way. This is a Nebula by Andrea Mowry. I did say Nightshift by Andrea Mowry too, right? I believe so. Oh, and I did size 8 needles, I think, on that. I wanted a nice big gauge, but it was very fat yarn too, but I held it really loosely, and I knit really loosely anyway, but I don't remember what size needle I used for these. This is Nebula, and you can see I haven't finished the arms or the neck, but it is nice and cropped. I already have fabric to match to make a Henrietta skirt to wear with this. It is Farmer's Daughter Fibre. Farmer's Daughter Confluence Cotton. I don't know why I didn't remember that. So, and the colorway is Bitterroot. And I'm also using, pardon me, Rowan Kidsilk Haze. This is an older color called Serenity. I took it off and blocked it because I was worried about fit, #1. I didn't want it to be too baggy, I mean, I still wanted some negative ease or positive ease, but I kind of am, I don't know. I haven't figured out what my sweet spot is on fit. So it's kind of hit or miss with sweaters for me. And I know like it's just simple math, but it's not. I mean, we all know it's not. And a little swatch isn't going to tell you too much about drape and stuff. So it was lucky that the pattern actually suggests using not this Kidsilk Haze, but you know, holding these two yarns together. Anyway, I was concerned about running out of yarn, fit, and if I wanted long sleeves or short sleeves, which kind of goes in with running out of yarn. So I did a quick block, and I think I'm gonna go with longer sleeves. I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about that though, because I just get overheated. And this is a very like spring color to me. I mean, I'm gonna wear it whenever I want to wear it, but like I just get so overheated. Like I'm concerned about, oh, it's so fuzzy. I was like, you know, concerned about getting too hot in this thing. But yeah, so I still need to finish the neck and figure out the sleeves. And I do have enough yarn to do whatever I want, so that's good. Yeah, so that will be off the needles hopefully by the next time I record, especially if it's another month. So yeah, I have a ton of yarn. Unfortunately, this isn't going to take much out of my yarn, my stash numbers, because it's like light as a feather, but that's what I get for using grams and not yardage. All right, let's see, what else have I got? I'm working on another pair of socks, obviously, always socks. They're my favorite thing to knit, but actually I don't know that they are. They're just easy. They're just easy to take around, and I don't know. And you don't have to think when you do a plain sock. So these are using a very precious, you've probably seen them multiple times through here because, yeah, this yarn, this is Time Traveler, Knit Picks Felici, and they came out with this color and it was so popular and they brought it back. And I've had, I think, 2 other pairs of socks using this colorway, and have worn them out or gotten them so disgustingly dirty. But yeah, Time Traveler, so obviously, maybe not obviously, but obviously it's based on Tom Baker's Doctor Who scarf. So I love Doctor Who. Wasn't like, Tom Baker is not my doctor. David Tennant is my doctor, with Matt Smith so close behind it's not even funny. But yeah, anyway, so I've got one sock done, and then we've been traveling this week, so that's kind of what I've been doing, was this pair of socks while traveling. And I'm here, so not to the heel flap yet of the second sock. And I think I'm going to actually like put these away. Like, number one, the yarn is just, because it's such a fandom love of mine, like, oh, I kind of want to make it last, and I know I can't get this yarn anymore. Because I'm not buying it and because they don't really make it. But also I'm just kind of needing to knit something other than plain socks for a minute, because I think I'm at a saturation level mentally with them for sure, and I need to find another project that's just no thinking knitting to kind of take its place, which might be a viajange. I do have some handspun that I'm still working on for that, but I haven't finished that yet. And I also have a Volmiza lace ball up here on the top shelf. Can't even see the top shelf and how full that is. So that might be kind of my mindless knitting in the dark in a car type movie knitting. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so I did start another pair of socks. And I knew, because I didn't want just a bunch of plain socks, and I have some really lovely solids. This is Knit Picks Stroll in Cider. Now, Stroll is not my favorite sock yarn. I think it's a bit too soft, and sometimes it gets a little fuzzy. So it doesn't felt, well, it does felt, but after you wear your socks about 10 times, everything pretty much felt. But yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite sock yarn. It's just a little too soft. But I'm still making socks. So anyway, this is apple cider, or cider, just cider. And you can't really see the stitch pattern much, but I'm going to show you the actual knitting pattern. This is a cookie A pattern called Passerine, I think, or Passerine. I don't know. Let's look. Let's look, shall we? So I'm just that far on the first sock, and it is from this book called Sockupied. Passerine by Cookie A. Cookie A is like, once upon a time was the epitome of sock patterns. I don't know if my ring light will show you. That's what it's going to be like. And also, once upon a time, this was how I knit all of my socks, were super involved pattern socks. And I really do like doing it. My eyeballs don't like it quite as much, and sometimes my brain doesn't like it quite as much. But so you guys, that's it. I mean, I didn't finish any spinning because, like I said, we've been traveling actually quite a bit, not just in this last week, but this whole month. Which doesn't mean which means that I don't really get to spin much. I am still enjoying my new spinning wheel. I just recently got a Majacraft Rose, and she's awesome. And I call her Clementine because when I think of Rose, I think of Kate Winslet, who I love dearly. And my favorite role that she does is Clementine in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah, I just finished Mayor of Easttown, and that was fabulous too. So that has nothing to do with anything, but it's really good if you need something to watch and you haven't seen it yet. So I don't really have much else to say. I mean, once again, I feel like every time I talk about things that I'm going to cast on next, that never happens. I have my Yell kit right here waiting for me to use it. Also, every time I'm watching back and doing my project notes, I'm looking at these and I'm like, I need to use up these just because I'm sick of looking at the labels every time. The background needs to change is really what I'm trying to say, which was part of the reason why I pulled out the Time Traveler, because it sat there and teased me all the time, and I eventually moved it back. It's moved several times, and then I was just like, nope, you got to cast it on. Like, that's the whole not say, using your best instead of saving it for some moment that will never happen. Yeah. I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. So big shout out to Morag and Kristen, who leave me beautiful comments, and I love that very much. Thank you so much, ladies. And I will definitely talk to you guys soon, especially once I finish that, whatever that is. What is it? Nebula. I don't know. Things just slip out. So that's all I have to say. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the fall. Yay, it's October, which is an awesome month. September is my favorite, but it went by so fast, I hardly got to enjoy it this year. So I'm trying to breathe deep and enjoy October at a slower pace. I don't think I have much of a choice in that. I think it's going to go quickly no matter what. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Love you all very much.